and welcome to Midnight Readings. Halloween is over. Hope you all enjoyed the Halloween special. Thank you again to the Omnivore for helping me out. It was great fun doing that, though you have no idea the editing I had to do. But it is back to normal readings this time. And so, today we will be reading The Roots of Magic, written by Barry Delight. Hope you all enjoy. It was finally over. Twilight and her friends had finally defeated Tirek with the magic from the box. Rainbow power, as a certain Pegasus would call it, and sent him back to Tartarus where he belonged. She even got a castle out of it. Now Twilight was in said castle, partying with all of Ponyville, there to celebrate her victory. As the party began winding down, Twilight made her way through the crowd, passing each of her friends on the way. Rainbow was recounting the tale in some surely exaggerated detail to a group of colts and fillies, with Scootaloo up front, drinking in every word. Pinkie Pie was, unsurprisingly, dancing wildly at the centre of the party. Applejack and Spike were near the punch table speaking to some other ponies, with Rarity not too far off, lost in admiring the castle's beauty. And last was Fluttershy and Discord on the far side of the room to her left, laughing and talking together. Normally Twilight would have joined any of them, but there were some ponies she'd been wanting to talk to all evening. As she approached, she called out, "Princess Celestia?" The Alicorn was standing in a quiet corner of the room, sipping punch and chatting with her sister, Princess Luna. They both stopped and looked her way upon hearing her voice. "Greetings, Twilight Sparkle," said Luna. "Congratulations on your new castle." "Oh, thank you," Twilight said nervously. It felt weird having her own castle, especially in such a simple town like Ponyville. "Is something wrong, Twilight?" asked Celestia. No. I was just hoping to ask you a question," she answered. "Of course, ask away." "I'm sure you noticed me and the girls' new looks from the rainbow power, right?" she began. The Sun Princess chuckled. "Yes, it was quite hard to miss." "Well, I was just wondering, why? Why would the magic need to give us makeovers in order to be used? I mean, I'm not really complaining, but giant hair, altered cutie marks, and random dye jobs? Doesn't that seem a bit unnecessary?" But then I realized I'd seen it somewhere else before. The Crystal Heart. Whenever it's powered up, all ponies in the Empire, crystal or not, get a new mane and tail style as well. So, my main question is magic somehow tied to a pony's looks? Princess Luna, who had been taking a drink, spit her punch back into her cup as she and her sister stared nervously at the purple alicorn. "Oh, what do you know? I do believe someone called me. On the other side of the room. I'd best be going now." And with that, Luna hurriedly trotted across the room. Twilight frowned at the strange behaviour. What was all that about? She asked the remaining princess. Celestia sighed. "I suppose it was only a matter of time before you found out," she began. "Find out what?" "You were half right. Magic is tied not to a pony's overall look, but rather one thing." She leaned in close and whispered, "Their hair." "Wait, seriously? It actually is?" Twilight asked, shocked. I thought it was just my mind coming up with something ridiculous due to this exhausting day. Well, pony feathers, Celestia thought. I should have just let her think that. And why the hair? That doesn't make any sense. Unless... Oh, I get it. You're joking, right? Well, might as well tell her. We can't talk here. There's too many ponies. She motioned for Twilight to follow her, quietly sneaking out of the doors as they entered one of the many hallways. They walked in silence, the only noise of the sound of their hooves on the cold, hard floor. Finally they came to another door, leading to the throne room. Only once they had entered, and Celestia safely shut the door, did she turn to Twilight and speak again. This is no joke, I assure you. But what does hair have to do with anything? Twilight asked, confused. The Sun Princess smiled. Have you ever wondered why my and Luna's hair flows like this? Well, I always figured it had something to do with you being the most powerful ponies in Equestria. Wait, you're not saying your power comes from your hair? And surely you've noticed many powerful ponies in history all have something in common with their titles. Starswirl, the Bearded, Morari, the Maneless, Celestia continued. I just thought it was because he had an incredibly huge beard. That he did. That was his secret. The magical power stored within his beard allowed him to become one of the most powerful unicorns in equestrian history. You've got to be kidding me. Twilight stared at her mentor, looking for any signs of teasing. There were none. Either she was serious, or very good at hiding emotions. Morari is a different case, the White Alicorn went on. He had a fine, powerful hair, at least until his tragic accident. Accident? Twilight echoed. She didn't remember reading anything about that. Yes. He foolishly tried to face a dragon on his own, a very cranky, fire-breathing dragon. Almost burnt him to a crisp. The dragon set him on fire? Twilight gasped. Oh no, he put up a protection shield just in time. The next day he woke up, took a shower, and lost every single hair in his mane and tail. Turns out some pony snuck hair remover into his shampoo. After that, his magic was severely weakened. He spent the rest of his life writing books on magic instead. I felt so bad for him. I made sure there was no mention of it in the records. He never did find out who exactly was behind it. Some said it was the Chancellor Puddinghead III playing a prank. Others think it was another unicorn, trying to eliminate the competition. Oh, and you'll love this one. A couple even said it was the dragon trying to get revenge. Celestia let out a rather unprincess-like snort. Like no pony's going to notice a giant dragon looking around. Not to mention his enormous claws would never manage to grasp the little bottle anyway. No offense, Princess, but I'm still having trouble believing this. Understandable, Celestia nodded. But it happened with you and your friends several times, besides the one you mentioned. For instance, I seem to recall you telling me when you and your friends were searching for the elements of harmony, you met a sea serpent, crying over his mustache, which Rarity then repaired by chopping off her own tail. Later on, however, after you first used the elements, they restored it. I'd completely forgotten about that, Twilight admitted. Another example is when you told me Pinkie Pie's mysterious pinky sense involving, among other things, a twitchy tail. And last, but not least, I'm sure you remembered the events of the day you were visited by yourself, which was also the day Cerberus left the gates of Tartarus and Tyrrek escaped. Of course, Twilight replied. She laughed. I still remember how ridiculous I looked, running around in that silly spy suit, eye patch, and head bandage, not to mention that awful mane style. She trailed off, eyes widening as she looked up at her mentor. Are you saying... I'm afraid so, she nodded grimly. Luna and I believe the sheer awfulness of your mane that day triggered T-Rex's escape. You see, bad hair can affect magic just as much as good hair. Only it tends to strengthen dark magic. So an element bearer, having a dangerous haircut, caused a shift in the magical balance of the world. How do you think such a severely weakened centaur, locked in a cell in the depths of Tartarus, managed to get out? The fact that Cerberus left his post wouldn't be his only problem. But wait, Spike didn't burn my hair until after that, Twilight exclaimed. Technically no, but it had happened to your future self when she came to visit you. In other words, even though the incident hadn't happened yet, the moment future Twilight entered our present time, that haircut existed. I don't believe it, Twilight muttered. All this time. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Please don't say because you didn't ask, she thought. This is very delicate information. I just didn't want it falling into the wrong hooves. Not that I don't trust you to keep it a secret, she quickly added, but I figured the less ponies that knew, the better. Of course. I understand. I won't say a word, the younger Alicorn promised. Celestia nodded in approval. Good. Now why don't we head back to the party? It won't do to not have the guest of honor there. She smiled. Right, Twilight agreed, though it seemed she was only half paying attention. She slowly exited the room, her mind more focused on what she'd just learned. The princess of the day hung back a moment, proudly admiring her once student's new throne. She turned when she heard the door open again, as her sister entered. Did you tell her? Luna asked. Yes, I did. Luna raised an eyebrow of suspicion. All of it? Of course. Why wouldn't I? Celestia asked. Her sister began to circle her as she asked. And was all you told her the truth? The elder Alicorn scoffed, insulted. Just what are you trying to say? Of course I told her the truth. The Night Princess stopped in front of her. Nothing, she stated, but we know how much you love to... What was it again? Ah yes, troll. Well, I assure you I was not, Celestia said. She glanced at the door Twilight had exited out of the corner of her eye, and said with a small smirk, Not today, anyway. And that was The Roots of Magic, written by Barry Delight. Yeah, I just thought we'd do a funny one after Halloween. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next week. Stay brony!